All right, in today's lesson, we're going to be learning how to find the area of a circle. We should be on page 567. Page 567. All right, in example 1, we're going to find the area of a circle. Change my... with a radius of 3 inches. Okay, so there's my circle. It has a radius of 3 inches, and notice that the formula to find the area of a circle is A equals pi r squared. And we know, class, that pi, the value for pi is what? It's 3.14 or 22 over 7 whenever my radius or diameter is divisible by 7. Okay, I could use the fraction. So I'm just going to use my formula. A equals pi r squared. Remember, you always start off, especially like with your homework that you're going to be doing tonight, you start off every problem writing the formula, okay? So write the formula, A equals pi r squared, and now we're just going to plug in our numbers. So I'm finding area equals pi, which is 3.14, times the radius, which is 3, squared. Now, order of operations is important here. Should I multiply 3.14 times 3 and then square it? No. And if you do it that way, you will get the wrong answer. You must do the exponent first. So 3 squared is what? 9. It is 9. And now I multiply that by 3.14. In your calculators, what do you get for area? Area equals what? Very good. It's going to be 28.26 inches squared. Remember, anytime you're finding area, and in this case we're finding the area of a circle, you need to square the unit. All right, any questions on example 1? All right, let's move on to example 2. Now in example 2, the only difference here is that they give us the diameter. Okay, now remember, there's only one formula to find the area of a circle, and that's A equals pi r squared. Okay, so since I have that formula, how could I, if I know the diameter, how could I figure out the radius? If I know that the diameter of this circle is 42 feet, how can I figure out the radius? All right, so 42 divided by 2 is 21. So I can just half, if they give me the diameter, I can half it, and now I can solve. Okay, so pi is 3.14 times the radius, which is 21, squared. And don't forget that you have to square the radius before you multiply by 3.14. So 21 squared is 441. Okay. All right, and then what do you get for your answer? Times 3.14. 13, what is it? 84? Yeah. 0.74. Now, I do want to point out that, feet squared. I do want to point out that your book uses the fraction version of pi because 21 is divisible by 7. On your quiz and your test, you can choose which value of pi to use. And when you move up to pre-algebra, algebra 1, algebra 2, the 22 over 7 kind of just disappears and you just use 3.14. So because of that, we're just going to stick with the 3.14. It's the easiest way to solve because we can use our calculators. All right? Okay, so that's it for example 2. Any questions? All right, now in example 3, now we're finding the radius of a circle. Just like we've done all chapter, sometimes they give us the area. Sometimes they give us the circumference, and we have to solve for another part of the formula. Doesn't change the fact that I still use the same formula for the area of a circle. It says find the radius of a circle that has an area of 615.44 square yards. So I just plug in 615.44 for area equals pi, which is 3.14 r squared. Now the next step, does anybody have a guess? What do you think you're going to do? You divide by what?
3.14.
Very good. Divide by 3.14, both sides. And you get r squared equals what? Okay, r squared equals 196. Now how do you solve for r? Take the square root of both sides. And the radius is 14 yards. Now, it's 14 yards because, not yards squared, because I'm finding the radius, I'm not finding the area. Now, I do want to point out, too, that your book uses the approximation symbol instead of the equal sign. And the reason they do that is because 3.14 is technically an approximation of the value of pi. Now, I'm not going to be that specific as far as, solving for these problems when it is pi. I will say this, though. On your quiz and your test, anytime I ask you to round your answer, I want the approximation symbol, which is the two squigglies. Okay? So anytime you round your answer, I want you to use the approximation symbol because you're saying that I've rounded my answer. This isn't the exact answer, but it's about whatever the value is. Okay? So that's what we'll go with for the quiz and the test. And if you understand that, that's everything you need to know for the last section in Chapter 11, 11.7.